So big changes are going to happen this week. MMCs are going to come with a broom. They're going to start sweeping all the people that belong to all the political parties. And from a reliable source, those who were appointed by the DA, they came in. I remember I was one of those culprits who were swept out. So we were all kicked out. And they were rude about it, and they were brazen about it. And it turns out that this time around, the same broom is going to sweep them out of office. And so, yeah, it's the curse of being in political office, the joys and the curse of being in political office, because it's very limited and it's very unreliable. Next minute you're up there, next minute you're down there, and it can happen like that. What's cracking, everybody? Welcome to it, man. This is another episode of the Free Ride Podcast. My name is Sipho Masigo. So good to be back, man. Last week was a crazy week. Damn it. My God. Damn. You won't believe the shit that went down. So, look, I tried to drop 2 episodes last week. One of them, the guest could not make it. And the other one, I had to postpone at least twice. So I could not record, I could not upload. So this week I'm back at it, man. So I'm going to start off with this one. I'll give you a rundown of what went down last week. It's been a bit of a crazy week. So to begin with, I had a snake visiting my house. It's a black mamba. Check it out. Some crazy shit. So that's the first thing I want to talk to you about. Secondly, Mr. President, the car that I use to do the podcast in, go and pick up all my guests. I have a chat with him, was booked for a movie shoot. So I'll talk to you about that. So it had to go in to get to be part of the cast on this one movie. I'll tell you a little bit about that later. What else happened during this week? So it looks like... so then on the day of the set of the shoot, tried another episode, and it turns out that when I got there, started shooting and check it out, and I had to cut the show so that I can get ready for the production for the movie. Also, what happened is that the new mayor, congratulations to Tara Morero, who is executive mayor of Johannesburg, has been sworn in on a Saturday, a week before. And then, of course, this last week on Saturday, an announcement by him for the new MMCs. So I'll go through the list a little bit later on. Also, congratulations to all the newly appointed MMCs in the city of Johannesburg. Also, another big change that has happened in last week. Panyaza Lesufi was sworn in as the Premier of Gauteng. So a big congratulations to Panyaza Lesufi. And of course, also the new MECs were also elected, appointed into office. So would like to congratulate them. I'll take you through that list. We also heard that Jacob Zuma is a free man. So all of this happened last week. So it's been a crazy week. So let's start off with the first thing that happened. So check it out. Here's a video from the snake that came into my house. So turns out I had just left the house 2 minutes. Actually, I left the house. My kids were home. I go to Soweto. I'm in there, go Soweto. I've arrived to fetch my first guest. He comes in. He's about to sit down. We're about to have a chat. Next thing, I get a call from my daughter. Dad, there's a snake in the house. Oh my God. Dad, come home. Dad. Had to leave, man. Had to come with my guests. Shout out to Puso. He came with me, and Harifita Muntlong. I get in. I go and fetch the paintball guns. I've got quite a few of them. So I give him one, I carry one, and I'm like, let's go. So as soon as I drove into the garage, go into my study, which is where I am, I go tell the kids that I'm home. I hear them screaming and shouting. This bloody snake is by my dogs. I got 3 dogs, so they're busy. The snake is that side. So I'm here loading the weapons. Ke ka puso ke mo ka le thobane hore if e kena ka tlasa dog box re kgona go khotla then I ke tlo thuntsha riding. So the damn thing, the kids are like, Dad, come quickly. And then I scream, and you can check the video. Okare the snake heard, or and then it goes. There was a hole in the wall. So my dogs are quite active. So you'll check out a picture of one of them. It's a mixture of a Boer Bull and a Jack Russell. So Jack Russells are small, Boer Bulls are tall. So the parents, the father was a Boer Bull, the mother was a Jack Russell. So my 2 dogs, Nikki and Drake. Nikki is tall and Drake is short. And so I think, before I got home, they were busy trying to make noise or like fight off the snake or whatever. And then the bloody snake spat into my dog's eye, Drake's eye. So his eye was like swollen. So anyway, this is what I see later. But na harkena, we get in, we go and look for this damn snake, and I see the hole. So the dogs have a tendency, because they're busy and they're small, they break shit. So they dug, and then they created a bit of a hole. I didn't see the damn hole. I don't understand how that hole came about. Small little hole, you'll check it out. This snake must have come in through that hole and got out the same hole. But as the kid said, Dad, it's going. So the snake just goes. And so I go to the other side of the wall. There's an open field. And we go against the wall. I'm ready to kill the damn thing, man. And anyway, needless to say, the damn thing got away. So it's been a bit of a crazy week. Then my dog is like, obviously swollen eye, and here I am, trying to help the damn dog. So I spent almost 2 days. Went to the SPCA, find out that the clinic is no longer working. But no, yako another SPCA. I got there, they were closed, Barre, Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm like, I know the vet is gonna cost like almost 5-6 grand. Anyway, needless to say, big ups to my neighbor, 80. He's like, yo, Sipo, I've got these tablets, man. These are charcoal tablets. Don't worry about it. Just make sure, here's some 8 tablets. Ga, the dog, 4 tablets, then 2, then 1. So it's exactly what I did over a period of time. Had to get trying to wipe off the eye, and like I had to even take tissues because now I get it like closes the one eye, so I had to make sure I ginka tissue, I wet it, I open the eye, forcefully open, keep it open, kikenye tissue get touch trying to remove some of the poison. But big ups to 80, man. Thank you so much, 80, for helping me with those charcoal tablets. Needless to say, The dog Drake is better. He's great. He's running around, but he was weak. Obviously, day one, day two, day three, he got a little bit edgy, and my son was like, "Oh my God, not another dog that's gonna die in our hands." And he was like crying, man. Oh, so there was no way I was in a mood for doing a show. There was no way I was gonna do a show. I had to postpone. Like, I was like, Puso Mfowethu, I don't think it's gonna sound nice. It's not gonna be great. My personality is not gonna come through. Ke batla re tlotle maada and just be fun and all of that stuff. Talk about the shit we've done. But now, if I'm in this, feelings, I'm not gonna be able to carry it through. So we postponed it, and so yeah, it didn't happen. The snake is out there, had to close the holes, had to go around the yard, ke batlane le ko e leng hore maybe go na le dimbobo ko teng. And so it's just been a bit of a madhouse, man. So that's the reason why, one of the reasons why I couldn't do the show last week. So I apologize to those of you who love the Free Ride podcast. Really appreciate it, man. All right, so that's story number one. Story number two is that, like I said, Mr. President was then booked to a video shoot. I thought it was a video shoot. So the production company sends me a message, Barentwana, we need the car, the green Mercedes for the shoot, Zwagala. Okay, what time? 3 o'clock. Oh, okay, cool, sharp. Saturday, pull in, re fihla re aso, location ka kona Chorena, re fihla re aso, ra Bloma. There's a Peugeot, you'll check it out. There's another Mercedes, then there's a BMW. So you'll check out. So the movie is pretty much, actually, I saw one of Casper's best friends, the other guy, I don't know what his name is, because I don't know all these other new celebs, so don't mind me. So anyway, the guys recognized him, Barike Praya Casper. So he was doing a scene. So they created out of this house, like a wooden tree house. I mean, actually a wooden house. You'll check out the videos. So they bakentse tavern, the props, and bairile taveninyana. So he was doing some lines. They shot 4 scenes. The first scene was okay, cool. The guy is talking to another guy who was a gangster, and he lost his life, turned around for the worst because gangsterism doesn't pay to some. I don't know. But anyway, his life turned out very bad for him. So he was reminiscing with this guy. So that was the first scene. Second scene, it was a party scene. It was shot. Oh no, actually, the second scene was shot inside the Wendy house. And this Wendy house made out of wood. So so that set up the outside scene and the inside scene. The third scene was outside by the pool area. So in the pool area, I can't even remember the name of the movie, but I'll find it to let you know as soon as it comes out. I'll just show you images and some videos just so that you get an idea of what it looks like. And so it's going to be coming out quite soon, apparently. So the scene at the pool area, they had to go look for the Slay Queenie. The next thing, but hey, because you hear, how about you in the background, Ronyana, and then you're an extra. Bakupile machitana ke valo hona ba re ba fethu kena le lona le be di extra. They give us some fake alcohol. We like standing there dancing to a song we can't hear. So it was a pretty interesting thing to be in. I haven't done the extras thing since probably the last maybe like 20 years ago. And I figured, Rory, I'm not made for this kind of stuff. I'm not made for movies, for series, for TV. I'm okay with podcasting. I'm pretty okay with it. But that other stuff I can't do. Like the amount of takes over, back and forth, or no. Cut, try it again. Kopalidi di maleng. So anyway, we are pretty dancing there. There's some slay queens in between. So I was wearing a vest, so my tattoos were like out. They were like, okay, cool. But now the scene is that it's in a late, I think it's in the early 90s. Machita ke di gangster, but they just come from robbing like I don't know, it's an SPV or whatever. So they coming celebrating in this big mansion, and haba feta ra ba re kra re party, and the boss, he was gonna meet Limachita, haba fetso ruofa, and we were having a party at his house, or the boss's house, and my car was actually the one of the boss's cars. And Machita batlile ba kene ka kusheshe, so you'll check it out in the scene. And then they come and they park next to Mr. President. So that's what went down, man. So we finished that. So that's what went down. So after that, I had to go. I couldn't go Limachita to go partying. They were going everywhere. I had to go and fetch my kids. That's another third story. We had visitors. Big ups to my wife. She had a friend coming through all the way from the USA. She came through with three other friends of hers and two daughters. So they came to visit South Africa. They wanted to come and see South Africa, Soweto, Northwest, Tshwane. They were in Atteridgeville, and took them to Soweto on Sunday, took them to Vilakazi Street, to Mandela House. You'll check out the footages. And they also contributed. So they spent quite a lot of money. So it was so interesting how, as foreigners coming from the USA, when they look at the conversion rate, $1 is like almost 16, 17 bucks. They're like, oh my God. So they were going crazy, man, spending. It was like the cheapest holiday ever. And this is a friend who gets to travel like to Italy, to Europe, to like all over. Like she like travels, works for an airline, gets tickets for free, and gets to travel all over the world. And this South African trip was actually the cheapest one. So my wife had to drive with them, go to Northwest, went to Sun City, went to Pretoria, went to check out the rugby game. And they're like Samoans, so they're big built family. So they're like the rock type of family. So they're big boned, those Samoans. And so it was so great to have them to come through to South Africa. They came over, spend a bit of time with them. So on Saturday after the shoot, I had to rush all the way down to Pretoria to go fetch my kids and then go Lebone. And they were visiting the grandparents or the grandfather. And then from there, went to Pretoria. So spent a whole day in Pretoria, took them to Soweto. So it's part of the reasons why the show could not happen last week. So I do apologize once again. So what else went down? So that's just on my personal tip. Things that went down that prevented me from shooting the episode. So welcome to it, man. This is the Free Ride podcast, and of course, it's an easy Saturday. Kinale autiaka kipuso Ramela. He joins me today on the Free Ride podcast. I'm so excited to speak to him. He's my boy, and so I'm catching up with him. So thank you very much to all of you who keep liking, sharing, continue to do so on the Free Ride podcast. I appreciate you. I've been seeing that we're growing every time. Please make sure you click a like button, you subscribe onto the Free Ride podcast. It's an easy Saturday. Oh, we've had such a day, man. And so much is still happening later on today, man. Let me greet my brother, Puso. How are you doing, my G?
Sure, Msigana.
Hola.
Good
to see you, man.
Oh, as always, brother.
Yo, dog, I haven't seen you in a long time,
It's been a minute.
It's
been a minute, bro. It's been a minute.
So, Buso, man, welcome to the Free Ride podcast, my nigga.
I've been wanting to be here, so I'm happy. I'm here.
Yeah. What's alright,
I must be here.
Yeah.
Feel like a little Jozi.
What's it?
Ancestor.
Yeah, what's it?
Ancestor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My nigga, let's introduce you to our people, man.
Yeah.
The guys on the Free Ride podcast. Puso Kimang Otiaga. Puso, where you from, my nigga?
Puso ke Otiago, Midlands. Currently residing in Midlands, but also ke goletse go Rusty
Yeah.
Kopela. Yeah, Moses Kotane, one of the late Moses Kotane.
Yeah.
The struggle stalwart.
Yeah.
Where he comes from, so ke tswa kwa CEO lena so yeah.
Born and bred Mosoweto.
Born and bred ke ngwana go para lena.
Ntwana go para.
Ke ntwana go para, but also I think it was after a month, and then my mother had to go work, and then my grandmother took me, and then that was it. I grew up in Rustenburg, came back when I was supposed to do grade 6 here.
Yeah.
In Joburg.
Yeah.
That's when my mother had settled, so she could accommodate me now.
Yeah.
And then I said I could do things for myself now, So
o godile le ditonki ntate.
And that day.
Ditonki le
dikgomo. You want to like go let's go magaeng, want to.
Yeah.
Ne ke tsa plastic ke mbolwa di plastic,
Yeah.
Yeah, body ne re thala body keto, body ing. So I'm that guy. I come from that generation. Yeah, the indigenous games, yeah.
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 O santsane ngwana khona o hlalla go strateng.
Ngwana sentse khona o tlalla go strateng, no sheba street pole, ese lighter, it's time to go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, and your transition coming from Komagaeng to Soweto, was it difficult? Or no santano lintwana, so it was easy to adapt? Or?
So it was difficult ka one thing, because when I came here now, because ke hela go ke tswang, ke rutiwa ka Setswana.
Oh.
So and then ke na ibangisa go go bua Sekgowa. So first day it was difficult.
What?
So I remember I always tell this story when very fella randomly about your multiracial schools, because I remember the first day was Kelada.
Yeah.
And then they showed me okay, you are go this class, and then Kafi Kara, and then they queuing. I don't know now, because gets one thing, you just get in that class, so they queuing, they waiting for the teacher. So everybody's gritty. I'm just saying, Dumela.
Yeah.
Others, the white ones, the colors. Hi, how are you? Good. Yes. Everything was yes, good. Yes, good. No, I didn't know anything about English. I could hear it, but it was because environment you are taught Setswana, even English. Yes, I could write it, but it was a matter of I explain a pronoun, but you understand it, you write it, English, but now to articulate myself, it was difficult. So it took me about 3 months.
Yes.
Learning from other kids.
Yeah.
So next time we tata, but I knew how to work tata, but now lack of communications, I can't communicate. Even both playtime, they speaking English in Nagera.
Yo,
and they go sell us no, I get to serious, and some will laugh for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but it was difficult, but I adjusted, because I know that's what I've like actually I adjust quickly to things, but I think I'm on another thing, so it's easier for me to adjust. So, but gradually it was easy for me to settle, so it was not that bad. The bad part was the English one when I got here.
Yeah. And then there was no bullying.
No bullying. I never.
So you never suffered from bullying?
Never.
Or is
I've never in school suffered from bullying.
Which school was this?
Melpark Primary School.
Oh, so you went all the way that side?
Yeah, I was in Melpark. Yeah.
So you were one of those waking up,
yeah, I used Patco bus, school bus. Sometimes I remember I used to
Yeah.
And another story, because first day my mom Melpark, so like no first day and then school bus sanshi. So I'm used to hore. So Kasaning Hill, it goes straight, so I must get off Campus Square and then walk to school. Hey, my guy. The black child from Makaing, the pass.
Yeah, feta ka we.
No, I'm like this. So what? So kabona I fit am campus square. So I'm like, maybe you jiga somewhere.
Yeah.
But now I know one destination. Or school bus isn't drop guy. My guy. You know, bus e tlo kena ka working. When you go to Alex, King Louis Bota.
Oh yeah.
The driver's like, hey chief, where are you going? I'm like, no, campus square. He's like, hey mona, refitile campus square. And there's no bus coming back. I had to care of chief. Hey, I'm coming back. I'm out also going back to Auckland Park.
What?
Whew. Hey,
That's a long walk.
my bro.
Huh?
I walked.
And at that time, the taxi they are not like what they used to be.
Exactly. And I'm clueless. It's what a past take. It's what a scuffy. So I walked. I'm asking, where's Mel Park? Hey, somebody, hey, go straight. You see that but McDonald's, they go, I get McDonald's, I get fed up. So, but eventually I got there. So eventually, because nigga Pagis, I was running.
Yeah.
So, but I got there. But after that, chief. More, you must light up, you know.
Yeah.
You must know the route.
So,
yeah, so and then kakapa school bus after that day, so that I can know other buses for what.
Oh.
And then I started knowing okay, even if I'm late, I'm chilled. I know where to get off. You know which bus to take and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was an easy ride. It's a fun experience. It's something to talk about now and laugh about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice, man. So what was your favorite sport, Koskela?
First because the experience, because I always refer to Agumahai. First, I was never into sports.
Okay.
My brother was into sport. He was playing, you know. So, but eventually, because Model C, you are forced to play, and then I started falling in love with rugby. I was loving cricket as well because my brother was playing it, so I fell in love with it because of him.
Yeah.
And
he went pro.
He went pro. So,
yeah.
Yeah. So, and then that's how. And then I played some rugby in high school as well, and then a bit of rugby, but not too much. But I'm a big fanatic sport, and then I love soccer as well. So yeah.
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 Yo. All right. So then you went through Koskela. So where did you go to high school?
Highlands North Boys High School.
Highlands North.
Yeah. So.
But get that area where there were like other girls' schools.
Yeah. Waverly, St. Mary's, and I was surrounded by women.
No, we
yeah, I get a roller plus. I get from Highlands, you know, because we were it was black dominated, so
yeah.
Even Waverly, so we used to St. Mary's because those chicks were book smart, you know. It was all about books for war.
Yeah.
So it was that thing.
Yeah.
With the playground where Machita Highlands, most of us. So
yeah. In the thick of things.
Yeah, no. Koskela, I think I was more laid back. I was Negele, you know that Negele, the sneaky one.
Oh.
Now I used to prove a point.
Oh.
Like the hottest chick no, this one.
Yeah.
This one you'll never survive or you'll never get her numbers. I used to go for those ones.
Hey man.
And I used to get the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, I remember you know Latoya, right?
Yeah.
The whole school was crazy.
Latoya was hot, dog.
She's
still in.
She's been, and I remember.
Is she still as hot though?
She's premium now. She's beautiful. My friend, you are beautiful.
Yeah.
I remember. I've never told you the story, so there was a debate there. Latoya was one, so, and I was like, no, I'll get her. Don't worry. So I remember me getting it. It was in the past, but it was not a metaphorical promotion. I was just showing the chance or I can get her numbers. You know.
Yeah.
I was showing. I told the niggas I'll get the numbers. I'll get her to interact with me. So I started studying the movements. We used to use the same school bus in the morning, but in the afternoon I came more. So Kante, she's a bookworm. So Osala was Kela over Vaga Basia to Baba Chase and Lady. So after I discovered that, I was like, one day it was a Friday. I was like, I'm not using the school pass myself.
Yeah.
Went to Palfo Pass Stop. She was there reading a book. She got in the bus. I was the last one to enter the bus. She was sitting alone. I just went there. And that time, I was not the person with books.
Yeah.
So I looked at the book, like, It's an interesting read. You know that thing, you know, open.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you reading? Hey, when she said, what are you reading? Hey, I must think now. Hey. I'm like, no. So I started saying no, because it was a fiction book. I was like, no, I'm not into fiction. You know, I like real stuff. And the conversation started, you know.
Oh.
And then we left the book stuff and then we started communicating. That's how.
Yeah, I'm
offering peace. So yeah, no, she didn't know it's a trick, that thing. So tomorrow I came, I didn't take the numbers. I'm like, no, I was with it. Like, oh my. There was a talent show at school. Because she was a rapper as well.
Oh, yeah.
I used to manage her, by the way.
Yeah.
She had a hit song by our time. She had a hit song, so it was beautiful.
I think it's a
Yeah.
I didn't get a quick break. And then then we'll continue. Now, let's look at some of the issues, man, that are big stories that took place in South Africa that are changing the political landscape of South Africa. So let's check out the first one. Boom. All right. So Mpopalasi ousted. Boom. She goes to court Tuesday, which is tomorrow. As I record this, there's a press conference. She's dealing with it. I don't know what's going on, but she's waiting for the court ruling to see if the court is going to reverse what's happened in Johannesburg, where the new mayor has been sworn in, was firstly elected, sworn in on Saturday. A week later on a Saturday, the ANC goes to Lekgotla, and boom, Saturday, the new mayor, Tata Morero, he goes and he selects his mayoral candidates. So let's take a look at those mayoral candidates, man. So as I record this right now, it turns out that the MMCs are being sworn in council. So I'll check it out a little bit later. But I want to tell you the names of all these people who are being sworn in this morning. And big ups and congratulations to them. So as somebody who's been in the politics of Johannesburg for the last 18 years, I've seen mayors come and go. I think when I started, I served with, I was a councillor as well. I was a DA councillor at some point, and I was serving with the first mayor at the time, Kintate Amos Masondo. Parkstar, who was the MMC of Finance, and there were other MMCs who were appointed. And I'm talking 2006 till 2011. That was my first term of office. Then I was there for the second term of office, 2011, when Musi came in as the caucus leader for the DA. Then Parkstar, who was elected the mayor of Johannesburg, and making Jeff Makubo the MMC of Finance. All right. So then Parkstar was then a mayor from 2011 till 2016. Then came, when the ANC lost power, the DA went into power. And when DA went into power, they put up Herman Mashaba as the mayor of Johannesburg. So Herman was there for 3 years, 2019, boom. So Herman came in, he elected Rabelani Dagada, who was the MMC of Finance. There were other MMCs who were appointed. They were only in office for 3 years. 2019, boom, the ANC comes with a vote of no confidence. Mashaba actually resigned because the fire was coming from the DA. They were seeing him for what they thought he was, that he was a mayor of the EFF, that he was in bed with the EFF. He was very soft with the EFF, and it made his coalition a bit weak. And of course, the ANC came into power. I went into office. I was a spokesperson in the office of the former Speaker of Council at the time. That was from 2020. So 2020, 2021 came an election. So we were in office for 2 years. Well, They get in ka 2019, December. 2020 was a year, 2021, November comes elections. Boom, the ANC loses power again. Then came Dr. Mpho Phalatse, who was the mayor, and then she was in office up until last week. Last week, man. So the point I'm trying to make is the change of leadership in the last 10, 15 years in Johannesburg has been extremely frequent with all these mayors that I've mentioned together with MMCs that were then appointed. So let me introduce to you the finance MMC this time around, K. Margaret Arnolds. She is the MMC of finance. Making her return is Loiso Masuku, who is the MMC of corporate, group corporate and shared services. Councillor Ashley Sauls is now from the PA, is now back in as an MMC because PA were voted the ANC, the AIC, and all the other smaller parties to give the ANC leadership of the city. So Ashley Sauls was serving as the MMC of Health and Social Development under Mpho Phalatse. So he's back in transport this time around. Development planning, Tapelo Ahmad, Councillor Tapelo Ahmad from Al Jamaa is back at his previous portfolio committee in development planning. This is where he was when Jeff Makubo was the MMC. In 2019, he came in as MMC. And housing's got a new MMC. And Councillor Anthea Natasha Lich, she is from Patriotic Alliance as well. And newcomer to the MMC roles, another newcomer is Nomoya Mnisi, Councillor Nomoya Mnisi from the African National Congress. She is now leading economic development and also making a second return, second bite to this portfolio committee of health and social development is Councillor Eunice Mqina, who is the chief whip of the ANC. And we also have a new councillor who is making his first entrance as a MMC of community development, Councillor Lubabalo Magwenchu. I think he's from one of the other parties. I can't remember the name. I'll look it up. Environment and infrastructure and service delivery. Congratulations to all these MMCs, the councillors. Councillor Mpho Sisidinyane from the ANC makes his way as the new man in charge of city power, pick it up, environment and infrastructure and service delivery. So he's a ward councillor. He's the only ward councillor who is the MMC at the moment. And then public safety, the new councillor, Jock Sekwaila. So I'll also list the previous councillors who were under Mpho Phalatse as the MMC. So congratulations. And I wish them all the best, man, because this political journey is like a wheel. It keeps turning very quickly. It keeps recycling people very quickly. People in political offices are going to be recycled very, very quickly. I'm told from a reliable source that all those who were in the mayor's office under Dr. Mpho Phalatse are all shipped out, all gone, from the chief of staff to all the directors who were in that office, all gone. And same thing that's happening in the office of the speaker. All those people, the former chief of staff, Greg Daniels, also shipped out, and other directors who were politically appointed. So big changes are going to happen this week. MMCs are going to come with a broom. They're going to start sweeping all the people that belong to all the political parties. And from a reliable source, those who were appointed by the DA, they came in. I remember I was one of those culprits who were swept out. Vaya. So we were all kicked out. So, and they were rude about it and they were brazen about it. And turns out that this time around, the same broom is going to sweep them out of office. And so, yeah, it's the curse of being in political office, the joys and the curse of being in political office, because it's very limited and it's very unreliable. Next minute you're up there, next minute you're down there, and it can happen like that. All these MMCs who are previously under Dr. Palatse had to return their cars same day, apparently on a Friday. They were told, all the perks are going. Now you were earning almost 1.2 million. You're back to earning 500,000-600,000, which is still fairly a great salary, considering some of them are matriculants, didn't go to high school. Some of them, they were just political people that got appointed. They were not really professional, some of them. And this was quite a heavy salary for councillors, considering what the private sector is paying. All right. So that is another story that made headlines this week. So Premier Panyaza Lesufi has been sworn in as the Premier of Gauteng. It didn't take long for power to shift hands, man. There was no way there were going to be two centers of power in Gauteng. No ways. And of course, we knew David Makura would not finish his term, would never finish his term. And of course, we knew that the incoming or the chairperson who was elected at the Gauteng conference was going to take his a little bit of time, let the process be a little bit less painful as he could have been, like we've seen go KZN when the new premier was, when the new chairperson was elected in premier in KZN conference. Sihle Zigalala was not even given enough time. Ukaraba mo kaile rope but nganda ntwana nganda uthi nka rope kiye make sure gore wa vaya. So, in Gauteng it was a bit of a not a rope issue but more of like a poison issue. Nka poison kiye inwe okaploma shapa trip ya go to Germany, come back, go and have a good time, go Germany. It's your last trip as a premier, come back, and then, you can then hand in your resignation. And of course, we knew Jorge David Makura made it clear in the beginning of the year that he was not intending to contest. He had been in the leadership of the province, Gauteng, for almost 24 years. I certainly, when I joined the ANC in 2014, he was one of the people that I met up with, along others, including the current mayor now, Tada Morero, and of course the premier, David Makura, was a secretary at the time, and of course I was with some white people when we first joined the ANC, and some black people, because there were a number of us who left the DA, and we were actually part of the first people to jump ship from the DA to say Helen Zille is a problem. This, white superiority is a problem, and black people are not trusted in the DA, blah, 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 blah. And we were the first people to go, myself and Tony Molefe, to jump ship and join the African National Congress. And now we can see a number of black people leaving. Pumzile Fandame left, Musi left, Lindiwe Mazubuga left, Mashaba left. All of them started leaving. But let me tell you, when we left, they said all sorts of nasty things about us and to us. And now they are leaving. The latest one being the guy from Go KZN who left. So anyway, let me take this moment to congratulate the newly appointed MECs who you'll check out the picture there. A list of all these MECs who have been appointed in the cabinet. Ya Panyaza Lesufi. All right, so this one here is the MEC of Health. New MEC of Health is the former MEC of Finance, Nomantung Komo Ralehoko. Department of Economic Development and Tourism, MEC Tasneem Motara, makes a comeback. Department of Safety and Security, MEC Faith Mazibugo, makes her comeback on the same portfolio committee. Department of Transport and Logistics has MEC Kidibodi Diale. Department of Education has now a new MEC who is Matome Chilwane. And also, we see the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs and e-governance now has a new former chief whip of the ANC in the province. MEC Mzi Kumalo makes it there. Department of Human Settlements and Infrastructure, it's MEC Lebogang Maile. He's now at Human Settlements and Infrastructure. Department of Finance has the MEC Jacob Mamabolo, who was the MEC of Transport in a previous leadership of the province. And then we see another change in the Department of Sports, Arts, Culture and Recreation. MEC Morakane Musupye, who also retains a post as a MEC, but now has been moved around. They swapped them around a bit with MEC Mbali Hlope, who's now taking over the Department of Social Development. So a big congratulations to all the MECs, the MECs, and the MMCs, the mayor and the premier. We hope you guys all the best. It's 18 months until the next elections of the province and national elections. So a lot of work is ahead of you. There's going to be some changes from what we heard from the premier. He's got a lot of ideas about what he wants to do, what he wants to change. So I want to quickly show you his speech quickly.
Going to open like we're opening people to apply to come to our schools. We need any parent that has a child that has a problem with Nyaupe. We want to take those children for 6 months as the state. Anyone that is a Nyaupe addict, we are not doing this through NGOs. NGOs have been dealing with this thing, but this problem is continuing. So we want all Nyaupe children, everyone that has a problem with Nyaupe, we are taking them to a farm that is owned by the state. They are going to stay there. We will rehabilitate them. The Department of Health will give them medication. The Department of Education will assess them. If they are ready to go to school, we'll send them to school. We'll carry the bill as the state. Those that are talented in sport will do. We want all Nyaupe. We will kill this thing of Nyaupe. Yes. We can't surrender our children and young people to Nyaupe. So we are taking all, including homeless people. We can't have every city people are sleeping in the CBD area. And we're funding NGOs to assist us with that problem. It's clear they failed if the problem is still there. So homeless people, even if
I'm so happy to be back to do the Free Ride podcast. You don't understand how much I miss this platform. So big ups to everybody who's been liking, sharing, commenting on all our platforms. I really appreciate it. And also big thank you to those of you who keep saying that you want to come onto the show. And I've just stacked up a whole lot of interviews that are going to happen in the next coming weeks. And I'll be doing each interview at a time. And there was a time in the beginning I was doing 3 to 4 shows a week. So unfortunately, with new responsibilities that have come in, I'll be doing 2 interviews a week. And I'll maintain doing the 2 interviews a week so that it gives me time to shoot, to interview, to edit and to upload and all of that, and make sure that I'm consistent with the 2. But when the time comes, I'll be back to doing 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 shows a week as much as possible. All right. So my last story is this one. All right. So congratulations to former President Jacob Zuma. He's been released. He has served his term his sentence of 15 months in prison. And of course, there were a lot of issues that came out of his sentence. Of course, we'll never forget the July unrest. People of KZN were unhappy, and it just spiraled down from KZN. It became a mess even here, all the way Mosoweto in Johannesburg in particular. He's done his time. But he's back in court again this week, today, in fact. And check this out, what Mzwane Lemanye had to say about Jacob Zuma back in court today. But he's done his other sentence because he refused to go to the Zondo Commission. So he was charged with contempt of court, got 15 months. 3 months of it he was in jail, and then the rest of the time he was out at home under home arrest, as they call it. But he had team meetings in between that time, had all these discussions. So what does this mean for the Honorable Jacob Zuma? It means that now that this cloud is over, he's got other court cases he needs to deal with, but he still has an opportunity to contest. He wants to become the chairperson of the ANC, more national office. He wants to be the chairperson of the ANC at the December conference. Did he get a nod from KZN? No. Did Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma get a nod from KZN leadership? No. They backed Zweli Mkhize, and they backed somebody else as Paul Mashatile as deputy president, and somebody else for the SG. So it's going to be a hotly contested December conference, people. So do look out for it. Our movement is going through a lot. And of course, I hope that, comrades will keep themselves calm under their collar and make sure that it does not go south, does not go worse, where there are political killings or anything like that. We need to see the organization pulling itself together. In fact, we need to see all parties serving the interests of the people. We need to stay away from seeing political parties arguing over semantics, not when our people are unemployed. Unemployment rate, my guest and I, he's an unemployed young person. I was going to talk to him about it. The guy we could not boost, so you saw the video earlier on. So I went Kokasiya go Middlelands. My goodness, not just Middlelands alone, but Kosoweto. There's so many guys sitting unemployed, unemployable, can't find jobs. Even if they go for interviews, these boys are already nyaupa addicts. They smoke a lot of weed. They drink a lot. Their eyes are beaten up. The faces had a beating. They've been in the sun for too long. These boys just don't look desirable to be employed by anyone. So we have a big problem, and this is what I wanted us to talk to him about the high unemployment rate, Kokasi, just what you see, and the high consumption of alcohol that these boys are doing, Kokasi. So we're going to chat about it. So we need to see politicians just taking an active hand and just dealing with this issue of unemployment, drug abuse, gangsterism like we've seen go El Dorado Park. I believe today at 1 p.m. the mayor will be making his way to El Dorado Park. And of course, people like Darlene James, Margaret Arnolds have been part of those people that have just been full on going at it, trying to deal with this matter of the issue of drugs and alcoholism and oka pipes and kids being hooked on all sorts of drugs and gangsterism and the amount of killings that are taking place in El Dorado Park. It's been crazy for the people of El Dorado Park. It sounds like it's a movie, but that's what went down in Eldos. So we hope that our politicians, our leaders can just put their differences aside. The level of pettiness we've been seeing, the Twitter wars that we've seen, Helen Ziller going for the throat, Herman Mashaba saying things about Helen and the party, like the mudslinging needs to stop. Our kids are dying. Our young people are dying. It's like a ticking time bomb waiting to happen. Dintwana tse di tlo re bolaya, di tlo re gwaza, di tlo re thunya, di tlo kena ko dintlong tsa rona, di re bolaye. I've seen a friend of mine posting something on Twitter, on Facebook, about a a priest who was attacked by 4 gunmen, kaditunya, and these boys were just relentless. Like they were like, like nebasna taba lore ke moruti di man. Ba ne basna taba dintwana tsena, and it's like the level of psychiness that these boys go through when they are smoked up, when they're under 2 or 3 different substances, alcohol, smoking cigarettes, maybe smoking weed, maybe taking whatever, cocaine, so they mix these things, these boys. And so habasana le letswalo, habasana man. They are brazen about it. They can come into your house during the day and they can break in and they can just, rob you daylight. The level of criminal, and sometimes they are violent in their attacks. So these boys are frustrated. They are sitting without work. They are unemployed. They are just upset and pissed at the world because le cherry abasa khona di shela. Abasa khona shela di cherry di thaka tsa bone ko kas tsa bone because the cherry tsena di shela ke magrot mane ba jowa ke magrot mane. So dintwana tse, they are frustrated. Di shela di cherry tse nyane no. Tona re they are 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Di jola le bo ma 16-year-olds, bo ma 18-year-olds, bo ma 15-year-olds. Di ja bana ba banyane because they are frustrated. Aba khona thola span. Kontlong, they are being told ora lona le useless. Useless, so you can imagine or Magriza Kontlong is frustrated at these boys, frustrated or Wanaka has become something absolutely horrible. But I want to appreciate, there's a clip I'm going to try and find of the premier saying, Dintwana, and I mean, you saw my last interview with Ntwana Anyaope. I followed up with him. I went back and gave him some clothes. And I said, go and get a boiler treatment thing. So I'll go and check him out sometime this week and see how he has been going Monday for the last 2 weeks, and then do a video and give you a follow-up as to what happened. And this was actually something that I was like, Dintwana tse, di tshwantse di nkiwe kaofela, di ye ko like a farm, di lo plomada, di treatiwe, it must be like a military training. Ebe okare bako bosoleng. And then they must be given responsibilities. They can still stay there at the farm. There must be buses to transport them. They can be reused to like clean the city. They can be reused to clean these gangster rifted places. Like they can be given opportunity, rooting out all these drug addicts or but after 6 months of being in a farm and being cleaned out and being trained like a soldier and being given military training and not being brought back to the same environment that exposed them to drugs, they must stay there. If when 300,000 it's and I'm sure the number is way less than that. And I'm glad the premier actually had the same vision to say, let's take them all, let's go put them in a farm. We must make sure carpenter, welding, be given skills. But these boys must not go back to the same community so that you kill the market for the drug dealers. The drug dealers must have nobody to sell to. Then after 3 months, 6 months, maybe Dintwana must be taken back, but come show us where these drug dealers are. In fact, help us root them out. And then you clean out Dikasi like that. It cannot be that it's mainly our townships where these drug dealers are having a field time. They are killing the future generation. I don't know how these kids are going to be in the next 10, 15 years, just from their organs alone. From their organs taking such a beating. Their brain, their heart, the liver, everything that they are taking, their chests. Can you imagine? We mix it all in one zol. What goes through your chest, your lungs? We have a big problem. So I hope the premier is going to follow through with what he promised. And let's make sure we clean out. So my prayer, my hope is that the new leadership in this province, the new leadership in the city of Joburg will be able to lead all these others political parties. But knowing the DA, they're going to fight. They're going to fight. So I think let's check out what Mpopalatsi had to say about this whole thing, man. I know that she's waiting for the court outcomes that's going to come out tomorrow. So let's check it out. All right, man, we're back. Boom. So let's do this thing. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys for the comments, for the liking, for the sharing. I really appreciate you guys. So we'll be back again this week. I've got an interesting guest. I'm going to chat to him about his career. He's quite an established dude who's doing amazing stuff. I've got quite a few guests that I want to do this week. So may God be with me, and may no challenges take me down like they did last week. All right, man. I'm out. Boom.